and then we have Obamacare. He's going to be the one that's remembered for turning America into the communist state. And
there's a website out there called blackdoctor.org.
Okay.
44 of Barack Obama's accomplishments.
Okay.
I couldn't get past. I couldn't get past a handful of them.
Why?
Oh, it's just because it's unbelievable.
Is it a pro-Obama site?
Yeah.
How did you go down that rabbit hole?
Okay. He passed healthcare reform. That is the number one thing they list as all his accomplishments.
So, in the dead of night, he couldn't have passed that without. I don't know. Just go ahead.
Passed the stimulus of $787 billion. Number 2. Number 3, passed Wall Street reform, signed the Dodd-Frank Act.
So by the way, Dodd-Frank.
It's to re-regulate the financial sector.
It's to regulate the regulators.
Yeah, that's right. And we need to control the controllers. Ended the war in Iraq.
Did he?
Well, he pulled everybody out, and now Iraq fell to ISIS.
That's true.
So they didn't do the follow-up. He did pull them all out.
That would be like saying that Truman ended the war in Japan by bringing all the troops home.
You know, I think we're still, I don't think there's ever been a call off. Like when we went to in the military?
No, Japan.
No, for Iraq. I don't think they called off the war in Iraq. Is it officially called off? I don't think it's officially called off.
Well, that's why we got our Firewatch ribbons.
Right. That's exactly what we got.
Yeah. It shows that we were at war.
Yeah.
So, did you ever see the meme with the Firewatch ribbon?
No.
It's pretty funny.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right. So, ended the war in Iraq. Draw down the war in Afghanistan.
Is that an accomplishment?
Yeah, that's what they're claiming.
Draw down.
Yeah.
Well, who did the surge?
Eliminated Osama bin Laden.
Liquidated him.
Literally,
they put him in the ocean.
Right. Turned the U.S. auto industry around. $64 billion. And now in 2011, for the first time in 2011, all 3 of the big GM, Chrysler, and Ford gained market shares for the first time in 20 years. He had to lump Ford in that, but Ford didn't take the money.
Boy, that is
deep. And Chrysler and GM are completely just, I'm not putting money in that stock.
Yeah,
and they lost. The government said we'll sell the stock back of GM once it reaches our zero threshold. So the people will make their money back. It never happened. They sold it back at half. Wow. And we lost all of that money.
So the government did?
Yes, which is our money.
Right. That's a huge. So investors overseas.
Right.
Overseas investors, they made it rich.
Oh, yeah.
That is so stupid.
Recapitalized banks. I had to look into this one. In the midst of the financial crisis, he approved controversial Treasury Department plan to lure private capital into the country's largest banks via stress tests of their balance sheets and a public-private fund to buy their toxic assets. Got banks back on their feet at essentially zero cost to the government.
Oh, yeah, right. They bought their toxic assets? Of course it costed billions, probably.
This guy's a lunatic. To even ever say that there's zero cost to the government.
Do you know what a toxic asset is? That's a house that's been foreclosed on that the bank owed so much money to that the value of the property is much less than what the bank has sunk into that.
Right.
And you're saying the government bought that.
Right. Well, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac,
Wow.
They bought all that toxicity. Repeal Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Okay.
That's an accomplishment.
First of all, Don't Ask, Don't Tell
was initiated by
Clinton, but it was the purpose was that you didn't have to answer the question, are you now or ever been penetrated.
Oh, wait.
Wait. Do you still have this?
Do you think a man spotted?
Is meant to be. That is got to be the most ridiculous soundbite I've ever heard in my life. Did you get rid of it?
No, it's somewhere.
It's somewhere in the ether.
In the ether.
Oh, that's a classic.
Toppled Muammar Gaddafi.
Wait a minute.
He said that's accomplishment.
You mean
toppled Muammar?
So let's just be honest here. One of his number one most important accomplishment is to build up and strengthen ISIS.
Oh, they should have put that in the stack. If that was 45, strengthened ISIS,
right?
Because if you look at the country of Syria or Libya, where Muammar reigned and ruled, that is a complete and utter chaotic civil war. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows who to pay for oil. Government, there is no government. There's nothing anymore. Complete upheaval, and ISIS is moving right in. So good for that accomplishment.
I mean, I'm wondering if any of the accomplishments listed here do not fall under spreading communism or supporting and building up ISIS.
Okay, this one does. This is the last one. I didn't go into any more than this. Reversed Bush torture policies 2 days after taking office.
Supporting ISIS.
Oh, by not torturing them.
Well, it just weakens our ability to fight them.
So if a president tortured or agreed allowed to torture other people, you get in a lot of trouble for that.
You should.
Okay.
But I think there was a debate over, things have changed, You used to be able to cuss at your recruits in boot camp.
Oh, yeah.
You used to be able to strike them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
gotta make them tough. You're going to war.
Well, now you look back at that and you're like, wow, they were brutal. They were abusive and all that. And, of course, those kind of labels put on them would look really bad. And now you're not allowed to do any of that stuff. But then on top of that, there was probably all kinds of enhanced interrogation tactics at some point that were widely accepted, not just in America, but among lots of nations. And now we can look back at that stuff and be like, oh, the horror
of it all.
Yeah.
Yet those men and women that were supposedly military members that were supposedly abused by their drill sergeants or upper ranks won World War I and World War II.
The greatest generation.
I don't know what else you want.
Right.
And now we got these pansy the tree huggers and lily pad laying knuckleheads.
Well, why do you think that we had all this Navy personnel on their knees with a gun to their head?
Oh, we're getting to that.
Oh, my gosh. Don't let us run out of time.
So in Pensacola, Florida, this was the title. This is the headline of the article. It says, noisy as hell majority in Rubio and Jebb's backyard kicking ass in Florida.
And what did that refer to?
Trump had a rally in Florida of 12,000. It was at capacity seating.
So instead of silent majority, it was noisy as hell
majority.
Okay.
At the Pensacola Bay Center in Florida's Panhandle, Republican presidential front runner Donald Trump compared Obama to Jimmy Carter and taunted the media. So, but here's the very part that I wanted you to hear of his rally.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing. Oh, that is amazing.
They have it zoomed up on his face right now.
I only wish the press was honest and they'd show you. They won't. You know that.
The camera's on his face. Yeah, camera's on his face only.
Among the most dishonest people you'll ever meet.
Bad people.
Bad people. Why don't you show the crowd, folks? Why don't you show
they don't
it?
move.
Go ahead.
They don't move.
The camera doesn't move.
Does not move.
Show
Doesn't
the
even
crowd.
blink.
Go ahead.
This is a feed from MSNBC.
Wow.
See those cameras? They're not moving.
They're not.
We're going to work on them a little later. Really dishonest people. And I tell it every night. My wife, I come home, I'll have crowds like this. She'll say, were there many people there? Because these guys keep the camera right on my face as small as they can.
I can only see 3 people in the background.
Show they're dishonest people, folks. Dishonest people. And I mean bad. So I'll tell you who wasn't dishonest, though. I don't know if you've read it. And we have to do this because one of the really great stories and true, Time magazine this week. Time. And what they're talking about, it's not just me, it's you. It's a movement that's going on. We have a movement going on. This isn't like a normal situation. These other guys come up, the other candidates come up and they'll have like 59 people. They'll have 104 people.
We'll have to go see
Jeb Bush
Herman
spent
Cain.
$69 million. He's nowhere. He's got nothing.
$69 million.
We should give that
That's
money
ridiculous.
to the veterans and to the wounded warriors. That's where it should go. But they really captured it on the cover, and this writer, he's a fantastic writer, really captured it in the cover of Time. And I'll tell you what, I thank Time, because frankly, I've been on Time so much, I'm on the cover all the time. But this one I liked. This one I liked.
All the other ones I hated.
It shows.
Here you go, folks. Enjoy it.
Oh, he throws the Time magazine out there. Okay, the Time magazine shows a little tiny. It's a picture of Trump from the back talking to a crowd, and it shows a little tiny Trump at the bottom of the magazine. He's like a little baby man at the bottom of the magazine,
Like a Where's Waldo?
right?
Okay.
Wearing like his blue blazer, and the rest of the cover of the magazine is nothing but an ocean of people.
It's amazing. It's kind of emotional. I mean, have you ever, like, when Glenn Beck brought the at the National Mall, the Tea Party rally?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's some awesome stuff. Even the liberal movements, when you look at like Woodstock and stuff like that, I mean, there's something emotion about the sea of humanity that comes to events like that. And I'm really happy to hear that. When we went to go see John McCain and Sarah Palin, there was a good amount of crowd there. Were you at that one, or was that Jason?
That was Jason.
Yeah. It was a good crowd there, but it was a hangar. And
Right.
we were all in the hangar, and we weren't allowed. When we went to go see Mitt Romney, I really wish there were a lot of people there.
Oh.
There were people waiting outside. They could have had a bigger venue.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But it was nothing compared to what and that was for the general election.
right.
We're not even near that.
No, we're not even near that. There was an article that came out this week that said that this rally that he was pulling off in Florida is large. It was a larger gathering of people than Reagan Bush when they went to Florida.
What? And this is in the primary.
And so Scarborough
oh boy, he's such a
comes on. He
rhino.
says, "I don't get it.
What?
I just don't get it."
What a rhino.
And so I commented back and said, "Scarborough never gets it."
That's perfect.
So Governor Nikki Haley came out and started screaming that Trump's the angriest voice. He's just angry. And then Trump came back and said, "You know what? She's right. I am angry. And a lot of other people are angry too at how incompetent our country's being run."
Yeah.
The majority of people in America know. We've had 7 years, 7 of the longest years of my life under this complete, it's a coup. Russ talked about it early on. You don't need gunshots for a coup.
Right.
This is a coup. It's an overthrow of the American government.
Yeah,
from the inside.
When they started coming out with the details of Obamacare, some of the early episodes of Rush Limbaugh were of him kind of almost in tears, talking about how it feels like we lost the Cold War and now we're listening to our new leaders under the Soviet thumb issuing us our new laws and regulations.
Right.
And this is what happens when you lose a war and you're conquered by another country. The conquering country comes and tells you how you're going to live now.
Right.
And that's what we're doing.
Right.
And he
absolutely.
felt like it's been that we lost the Cold War.
Right. So on CNN, right after the debates, a guy named Rogers, he was on CNN and he went on a tear on a rant